Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We're going to be looking today specifically at apostrophes. Now, apostrophes can be particularly challenging. A lot of people misuse them, they overuse them, or they leave them out. It's a seemingly simple concept, and yet it has it's fraught with difficulty. So by looking at the three purposes of apostrophes. Purpose number one is to replace letters or numbers that are not there. We'll look at examples of how that works. The second one is to show possession. And the third form that we use is to show different kinds of multiples. Again, this is all going to make sense in the examples. So let's start with the first style. The first thing you do is you replace missing letters or numbers. Like, for instance, the first example, I cannot becomes I can't. You've also probably heard this described as a contraction. You will not becomes you won't. The same kind of thing. That apostrophe is replacing the O in not that is not there. That was from 1989. We might say it's from 89. The apostrophe there replacing the 19. And then you have the exception of it is becomes its, because if it belongs to it, it's its. That's a whole nother one. We'll deal with that later on. That's separate. So now let's look at terms of possession. If you use an apostrophe and an S when the word naturally ends or does not end in S, X, or Z, it's easier that way. So if you have a baby who's laughing, it's the baby's laugh. That's an easy one. The school's cafeteria. Again, it's easy. That's the easy one. This is where it starts to get complicated. If the word ends in S, X, or Z, you just use an apostrophe. Now, you're going to have people who argue with you about this. I understand why they make this argument. This is the way I always learned it. This is the best way I've seen it. This is the way I stick with it. So if that suit belongs to Charles, we say it's Charles's suit, and it sounds like there should be a second S there. There isn't. If we have the baby's laughter, that there are many babies laughing at the same time, which, by the way, sounds like something out of a horror film, then we have babies. And since that's spelled differently than the singular version anyway, that's how we know it's correct. Just put the apostrophe after the S. Don't make the same mistake of doing that with plurals that don't end in S. So for instance, if there is a team of women, it's the women's team, because women is already plural. So it's not a matter of whether or not the word is plural, it's just does the word naturally end in S. What if we have multiple owners? This is one of the trickiest aspects of it. So for instance, Joe and Katie, they own a house together. Well, that's Joe and Katie's house, and it's brown. Fine. But what if they own separate homes? Joe's and Katie's homes are on the same block. Those you're not going to know unless you have more context. And then finally, single letters or numbers. How many I's are there in Mississippi? Notice that the I there gets an apostrophe S. Or the district wants to add more DROs, or days of religious observance, to the calendar because it's a shortened form. That's how you would do that one. And then finally, my last one, this one annoys me, is the holiday card. If you're sending a holiday card out, it's Happy Holidays from the Smiths. If the last name is Smith, it's not the Smith apostrophe S. Somebody right now who's watching this is like, oh my God, my family does that every year. Well, now you can be the hero and tell your family, listen, it's wrong. Please stop doing that. So hopefully this will help you. Stay tuned. Check out the next module. And thanks for stopping by.